the grand tapestry of The Lord of the Rings, the omission of certain characters inevitably leaves threads untied. Among the most glaring absences in Peter Jackson's cinematic adaptation are Elladan and Elrohir, the twin sons of Elrond, Lord of Rivendell. These brothers, woven into Tolkien's narrative with purpose and significance, represent a bridge between past and present, mortality and immortality, and the enduring legacies of Middle-earth's struggles. Their absence from the films not only alters the narrative, but also diminishes the richness of themes that Tolkien so masterfully crafted. Born in the year 130 of the Third Age, Elladan and Elrohir are the elder siblings of Arwen Undomir, and they share her half-elven lineage. This unique heritage grants them the same momentous choice that defines their family's destiny: the freedom to choose between mortality and immortality. As warriors and emissaries, their role in Tolkien's work extends far beyond familial ties. They are steadfast defenders of the free peoples of Middle-earth, frequently venturing into danger to protect the lands they love. Their decision to stand with Aragorn, particularly during the pivotal moments leading to the War of the Ring, demonstrates their commitment to both their mortal and immortal kin. Their involvement underscores themes of unity, sacrifice, and the intricate ties binding the major players of Middle-earth's fate. Elladan and Elrohir's participation in the Return of the King novel solidifies Aragorn's claim to the throne of Gondor. They ride with him as part of the Grey Company, bringing word from Elrond of the reforged Anduril, a symbol of Aragorn's destiny. Their presence underscores Aragorn's connection to the elves and his acceptance of his role as the leader who must unite men, elves, and dwarves. Elladan and Elrohir are emblematic of sibling loyalty and cooperation, themes that echo through The Lord of the Rings. Their dynamic with Aragorn, whom they regard as a brother, reinforces the unity necessary to confront Sauron. Including them would have offered a poignant contrast to the fracturing alliances seen elsewhere, such as Sauron's betrayal or the division among men. The twins act as living reminders of the Elder Days, evoking the valor of their Númenórean ancestors and the wisdom of their elven forebears. Their knowledge of history and combat would have enriched the narrative, particularly in moments where ancient lore, such as Aragorn's journey through the paths of the dead, plays a critical role. One of the most atmospheric sequences in both the book and film, Aragorn's journey through the paths of the dead, is made more compelling in the book by Elladan and Elrohir's involvement. In Tolkien's text, they lend Aragorn strength and support, acting as his vanguard when the company confronts the dead. Their absence in the film shifts this burden entirely onto Aragorn, which, while dramatic, lacks the camaraderie and shared history that the brothers provide. Moreover, the twins' presence could have deepened the mystical tension of the scene, as their elven blood and shared heritage with the Númenóreans make them uniquely suited to this confrontation. The absence of Elladan and Elrohir from the films not only robs viewers of a richer narrative, but also obscures the deeper connections between characters, events, and themes that define Middle-earth. Their inclusion could have provided a profound sense of continuity and kinship, serving as a reminder of the bonds forged through shared purpose and sacrifice. Elladan and Elrohir's inclusion in The Lord of the Rings would have highlighted one of Tolkien's central themes, the interplay of choice and destiny. As sons of Elrond, they inherit the weighty privilege and burden of the Peredil, choosing mortality or immortality. Their eventual choice, like Arwen's, remains unrecorded, but their actions during the War of the Ring suggest a preference for the mortal path. Their alignment with Aragorn, a mortal king destined to reunite the realms of men, reflects their solidarity with the transient struggles of Middle-earth. By including the twins, the films could have expanded on these philosophical explorations. Their presence would provide a counterpoint to Arwen's decision, demonstrating that even among those with the same heritage, choices differ, reflecting individuality and the complexity of fate. Another significant omission lies in the twins' role as warriors. In Tolkien's works, they are seasoned combatants who fight tirelessly against Sauron's forces, particularly in the wilderness of Eriador, where orc incursions are frequent. The films often relegate the defense of Middle-earth to the Fellowship and key armies, but the twins' efforts in the north remind readers that the struggle against Sauron is a continent-wide endeavor. Their valor and strategic contributions lend weight to the idea that the fight against darkness requires unity across races and regions. Their inclusion could have allowed the films to explore the broader military scope of the War of the Ring, highlighting how even the seemingly peripheral regions contribute to the survival of Middle-earth. Elladan and Elrohir's journey with Aragorn as part of the Grey Company is one of the most compelling chapters in The Return of the King. Comprised of Rangers of the North, these men are Aragorn's kin and steadfast allies, led by Halbarad. The twins' presence adds an elven dimension to this mortal company, creating a potent symbol of the unification of free peoples. When the Grey Company delivers Anduril to Aragorn, they embody the themes of renewal and reclamation. The reforging of Narsil into Anduril signifies Aragorn's readiness to reclaim his birthright, and the twins' participation in this moment underscores their endorsement of his kingship. By omitting the twins, the films lose an opportunity to visually and narratively emphasize Aragorn's ascent as a leader, supported by both mortal and immortal allies. Elladan and Elrohir also function as symbols of hope, bridging the ancient wisdom of the elves with the perseverance of men. Their interactions with Aragorn in the text reveal a deep mutual respect and camaraderie, which could have added emotional depth to the films. Their shared lineage ties the long history of the Númenóreans to the contemporary struggles of Gondor and Rohan, reinforcing the idea that the past continually shapes the present. The twins' inclusion could have further emphasized Elrond's active role in the fight against Sauron. While the films depict Elrond primarily as a counselor, the involvement of his sons would underscore his family's sacrifices and commitment to the free peoples. Through Elladan and Elrohir, Elrond's wisdom takes physical form, contributing directly to the battles and decisions that determine Middle-earth's fate. One of the understated yet poignant moments in Tolkien's writings is the bond between the twins and Arwen. Their presence in the films could have added complexity to Arwen's storyline, highlighting the familial ties strained by her decision to bind herself to Aragorn and mortality. The twins could have served as a mirror to Arwen's internal conflict, showing viewers that love and loyalty often come with sacrifice. Furthermore, their interactions with Aragorn could have offered a lens into his doubts and growth as a leader. The twins' unwavering support might have added emotional weight to Aragorn's journey, showcasing the friendships that sustain him in moments of uncertainty. Elladan and Elrohir embody many of the themes that make Tolkien's work resonate: unity, sacrifice, hope, and the weight of choices. Their exclusion from the films, while simplifying the narrative, diminishes the intricate web of relationships and struggles that make Middle-earth feel alive. Their inclusion would not only have honored Tolkien's vision, but also enrich the emotional and thematic layers of the cinematic adaptation. Elladan and Elrohir serve as living embodiments of the bond between the ancient elves and the men of Númenor. Their heritage ties directly to Elros Tarminyator, the first king of Númenor and the brother of Elrond. This connection not only enriches their own characters, but also provides a narrative bridge to Tolkien's deeper mythology, particularly the tales of the Silmarillion. Their actions during the War of the Ring symbolize the enduring power of alliances forged in earlier ages, reminding readers, and potentially viewers, of the sacrifices that shaped Middle-earth. Had the films included them, the twins could have acted as storytellers or symbolic figures, linking the audience to the rich history of Númenor and the elves. Through dialogue or flashbacks, their presence could have illuminated Aragorn's place within this lineage, showing his rise to kingship as not just a personal journey, but also the culmination of thousands of years of intertwined history. Tolkien's works frequently juxtapose despair and hope, and Elladan and Elrohir exemplify this duality. Their tireless fight against Sauron's forces, despite knowing the diminishing power of their people, mirrors the resilience of men and hobbits in the face of overwhelming odds. By the late Third Age, the elves are leaving Middle-earth, their influence waning as the dominion of men begins. Yet Elladan and Elrohir remain steadfast, refusing to retreat, even when the tide of history seems to flow against them. In the films, this juxtaposition is largely represented by Elrond's reluctance to help men and Arwen's internal conflict. Elladan and Elrohir would have added depth to this narrative, showing that even within the same family, perspectives on hope and duty differ. Their inclusion could have highlighted the tension between those elves who fight for a world they will soon leave, and those, like Elrond, who view retreat as inevitable. The portrayal of Rivendell in the films focuses heavily on its function as a sanctuary and a place of counsel. While this aligns with its depiction in the books, Rivendell's role as a bastion of active resistance is underrepresented. Elladan and Elrohir are crucial in showcasing Rivendell's dual nature, a haven for wisdom and a stronghold against the shadow. Participation in battles and their role as emissaries of Elrond emphasize that Rivendell's contributions to the War of the Ring extend beyond advice and guidance. Including them would have given the audience a more dynamic view of Rivendell's importance and underscored the proactive role elves play in Middle-earth's fate. By omitting Elladan and Elrohir, the films simplify the complexity of elven involvement in the war. This decision shifts the focus almost entirely onto Legolas, whose perspective as an envoy of Thranduil in Mirkwood is important but limited. The twins, as sons of Elrond and active participants in the larger struggle, would have provided a broader view of elven culture and their lingering ties to the mortal world. Additionally, their exclusion removes an opportunity to explore the themes of mortality and choice through the perspective of characters who are not bound to the Fellowship. The films rely heavily on Aragorn's journey to explore these themes, but Elladan and Elrohir could have expanded this focus, showing that the struggles of Middle-earth resonate even among those with vastly different destinies. Consider the cinematic potential of moments like the reforging of Narsil into Anduril, or the gathering of the Grey Company. With Elladan and Elrohir present, these scenes could have been elevated by their shared history and emotional resonance with Aragorn. The twins' delivery of Elrond's message, urging Aragorn to claim his destiny, would have carried added weight coming from figures who have fought alongside him and share his lineage. Their participation in battles like the Siege of Gondor or their guidance through the paths of the dead would have added layers of tension and triumph. The twins' elven grace combined with their martial prowess could have created visually striking sequences, rivaling even the most memorable moments in the films. Elladan and Elrohir's absence from the Lord of the Rings films represents a lost opportunity to explore Middle-earth's rich history, its interconnected cultures, and its profound themes of hope, sacrifice, and unity. By including them, the films could have honored Tolkien's vision more fully, giving audiences a deeper appreciation of the world and its struggles. The Fellowship of the Ring, while central to the narrative, is not the sole force driving the resistance against Sauron. Elladan and Elrohir, like many characters omitted or minimized in the films, highlight the communal nature of Middle-earth's struggle. Their inclusion would have reinforced the idea that victory over darkness requires the combined efforts of many, not just the valor of a chosen few. The twins' story represents an intersection of alliances between men and elves, Númenor and Rivendell, past and present. Through their presence, audiences could better understand the broader stakes of the War of the Ring and the myriad sacrifices made by those who fight to preserve the Free Peoples. Tolkien's Legendarium is as much about interconnected relationships and histories as it is about grand battles and epic quests. The absence of Elladan and Elrohir, though perhaps practical for a streamlined adaptation, subtly alters the thematic weight of the story. Their exclusion overlooks Tolkien's emphasis on the enduring ties between generations, races, and individuals united against a common foe. Moreover, Tolkien's world thrives on the interplay between large-scale events and personal decisions. The twins, as warriors who choose to remain and fight for Middle-earth, embody the lingering presence of the Elder Days and the transition to a new age. Their role is not just that of combatants, but of living symbols, bridging the waning age of elves with the ascendant age of men. While Peter Jackson's films are iconic, the omission of Elladan and Elrohir leaves room for future adaptations to delve deeper into their story. Whether through a television series or a renewed cinematic vision, their characters offer rich potential for exploring Middle-earth's history and its intricate themes. In such adaptations, their perspectives could provide a nuanced exploration of the elves' role in the Third Age and the complex dynamics of the Peridot lineage. Their relationship with Aragorn, Arwen, and Elrond could be portrayed with depth, offering viewers a richer understanding of these beloved characters. Elladan and Elrohir teach us that the fight for good is not waged by heroes alone, but by the collective efforts of all who choose to stand against evil. Their journey reminds us that courage takes many forms. The courage to face an overwhelming enemy, the courage to fight for a world you may never fully belong to, and the courage to hold on to hope amid despair. Their story is one of unity, love, and the enduring legacy of sacrifice. By including them in the films, viewers could have experienced a fuller picture of the War of the Ring, one that celebrates not just the central heroes, but also the countless others who contribute to the light's triumph over shadow. Ultimately, the inclusion of Elladan and Elrohir would not have simply added more characters to the Lord of the Rings films. It would have enriched the narrative, deepened the themes, and honored Tolkien's vision of Middle-earth as a living, interconnected world. These brothers stand as a testament to the sacrifices of the past, the hope of the present, and the choices that shaped the future. To bring them into the cinematic fold would have been to celebrate the very heart of Tolkien's legendarium. Elladan and Elrohir's absence from the films is a reminder of the difficulty of adapting works as layered and profound as Tolkien's. Yet their story still beckons, waiting to be told. Perhaps, in the hands of future storytellers, their legacy will finally find its place on screen, where it belongs.